Hello, welcome to this edition of Ragic Office Hour. All right. So I have the list of questions here. So let's start with the list of questions that we have here. Okay, so the first question is regarding the mail merge. All right. Okay, mail merge via action buttons. Mail merge via action buttons. Okay. I'm exploring Ragic to have and have to say I'm impressed so far. Thank you. And there's, however, an important item I would like to have a solution for. I have a list containing records for sales tickets. When adding a record, I would like to have a button that starts the creation of a mail merge doc. I see I can start a mail merge, but need to go to Tools in the Overview table, right? In the Tools table. And I need to indicate a range of records. For mail merge, yeah, if you're doing mail merge from the listing page, yes, you need to indicate the range of records. And on the other side, if you're doing mail merge from the form page, then you just basically click on the mail merge action button. So how can I achieve, already on the form, I could create a ticket via mail merge. Okay, maybe you're downloading a document with mail merge via an action button, but also the possibility to have the same button in the list overview. Okay. Um, all right. Basically for your question, we do have a mail merge button on the form page. So for whenever you create a mail merge, it's gonna appear as an action button on the form page. So if you want to have an action button for one specific record, it's already there. Just look under the bottom right side. And for the for the listing page, yes, for the listing page, there is no action button there. You have to go into the tools menu. But yeah, but as you summarize on the form page, there's already an action button for this. Okay, so let me summarize. For the form page, the action button is already there. Just look under the left, right, the bottom right. For the listing page, you will need to go to the Tools menu. And yeah, if you want to make that an action button on the listing page, that's something we could look into in the future. Okay. Yeah, thank you for your feedback. Okay. Location of the action buttons. It would be nice to be putting the action buttons on the forms itself. That would be more user friendly. It's not intuitive to find the action button there. Yeah, I agree. In some cases, that would be more intuitive. So, um, yeah, we actually already do have plans to enable users to add action buttons to the form itself. So yeah, and stay tuned for this new feature. All right. Next. Okay, for our solution, we need saved filter that pop up when we need saved filters the pop-up window to select link and link multiple items from a subtable. Okay, we need to link multiple items from a huge subtable. To get the items from the subtable in the pop-up window need to be filtered. To get the items from the subtable in the pop-up window need to be filtered. Okay. Probably means that it needs to be like by default filtered to select records from another sheet. From the filtered section the user selects manually certain items. During the linking process, we need to use the same filter several times after another. It would be very helpful if the last filtering of the pop-up could be recalled. Go on the last filter setting. The filter setting cannot be derived from the values of the main table. Is this possible? Okay, yeah, if you're deriving the filter from the main table, that would be dynamic filtering. Okay, I think this is definitely possible because we do have a feature for you to select items to enter multiple items on the subtable. Let me just give you a brief example. Like if you have like these 5 fields here, and you could just, when you're entering a link from another sheet here, you could check multiple subtable rows at a time, and this will allows you to select values to populate multiple subtable rows at once. That means okay, let me just give you a brief example of how this is done. So if you choose that, and you will be able to choose multiple items like this. So when you do a filter, and you could choose multiple items like this, and this is when you're entering multiple items on the subtable without resetting the filter. Yeah, so this is how you select multiple items from a filter. Okay, and let me just remove this subtable that we're not actually using. All right. So let's paste. Oops. Huh, I didn't really copy that. You could use, let me find the document for this. Okay, when you're doing link and load. Okay, I didn't copy the last answer, but I think the demo is pretty clear itself, so you could use the select, what was that called? The feature I just used. Select multiple items for subtable SI demo. Okay, let me just do that again so I can get a screenshot. So A, B, C. Let me just change it to select from other sheet. Oh, multiple subtable rows at once. I want to do a screenshot there. There we go. Yeah, but this is really convenient, so we could, paste the screenshot to the value. So yeah, this is called multiple subtable rows at once. Yeah, it's hard to think of a name that's really easy to remember for each of these settings. Oops. All right, next question. Can I set up Ragic to connect to Jira, and when I create a new role in a table in Ragic to automatically create a new ticket in Jira? Well, that should be pretty simple with Zapier, because Ragic supports Zapier integration, and I do believe that Jira supports Zapier integration, and you could do that with Zapier. So let me just quickly bring up the documentation for Zapier integration. Yeah, and in the near future we're going to support quite a bit more other integrations except Zapier, like including Integromat and other integration as a service platforms. So yes, you can do this with our Zapier integration. Yeah, that's generally pretty simple and pretty standard to do on Ragic with Zapier integration. All right. Okay, how can I add hours to a date field? Okay. Yeah, this is when you're doing formulas for date fields. So there's the rule is pretty simple. So if your date fields are dates only without any hours and minutes, the date arithmetic is based on the unit of days. So you could add 7 means add 7 days. But if your date field have a time element, like you have HHMM for the minutes, then the unit of time would be in minutes. So let me give you a brief example here. Time calculation. So if you have like time 1 and some time to be add time. Okay, let's say this is a number. So you want to add a certain number to your existing time. So you could just say result time. Okay, what was the question that you want to? Like if you want to add 7 hours, so 7 hours is 420 minutes. So that would be A1 plus 420 minutes, like this. So when you choose a date, and it will be like, it will do the calculation based on that. Hours. Huh. That's in days. So I probably need to change it to a more like this format. Like a date with seconds. This is still in dates. Yeah, and the formula will be, I will be, yeah, I should add a 2. So this add this equals this. Yeah, but let me see if I choose time. Should be something like this. This is still in dates. Yeah, I think because what I remember our rule is to, if you have time elements, it should be doing calculation in units of minutes. But from what I just tested, it seems like it's always doing it in days. So I'm gonna report back this to our development team and see if my memory is wrong, that they're not doing the minutes calculation anymore. But in any case, if you're adding like 7 hours, then you have to do it with like decimal points. Like let's say if we're adding half a day, it would be something like this. But of course, I realize this would be a lot less intuitive if we're doing date calculations with decimal points. So yeah, I will check with our team to see if they've changed something with the minutes calculations. The date calculation. Based on minutes. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to get back to you on that. Right now, it's based on number of days, and you will need decimal points. All right. Next question. Can we ever expect to see the option to add action buttons directly onto the form? Wow. Okay. This like was asked by another user previously, so yeah, I guess there's yeah, we do know that we have kind of quite a bit of requests for this, so yeah, we're gonna kind of raise the priority for this. It would be cool to have a button under a particular field that would confirm change and load the changes as log entry to another Ragic sheet without the need to do the complex post workflow, pre-workflow JavaScripting. Well, yeah, we do have that as an action button. Just yeah, right now some of these features, when you're doing action buttons, you don't really need to write JavaScript. I believe the action button solve a lot of problems users have, but the location SS accessing them make makes it tough for non-technical user to use and implement. Yes, we're definitely doing that. So um, yes, we will be supporting action buttons on the forms itself in the near future. Just so you know that like a couple of months ago, we've supported action buttons on the listing page. Yeah. And that's also really useful. You can execute an action button for a record without even going into the form page itself. So we should be supporting action buttons on the form page itself in the near future. All right, Lincoln load. Lincoln load does not always work when we have it selected to keep values updated. I and a colleague of mine have tried in the past to use globally daily workflow to incorporate a nightly Lincoln load refresh. Nightly Lincoln load refresh, all right? But it does not appear to work. Do you have any advice? Um, yeah, I do think we have feature for users to do link and load refresh on the daily workflow. So yeah, we do have code for users to do that. Let's see features. Um, yeah, automatic daily calculations. So, oh, so this is for you to do the daily formula recalculate. And you could do something similar to this with link and load. Let me just point to this document page first. And yes, you could do that with the daily workflow feature, which is similar to daily formula calculations. So to make it do link and load instead of formula calculation, just give me a minute. Let me check the documentation. Load all link and load. Yes. So when you retrieve the field, you need to call like if the variable is entry, and you could just load all link and load before the entry is saved. Yeah, and this should work. All right. Next question. USPS and other shipping company API module. It would be great to include an easy way to update shipping via USPS and other shipping companies. Yeah, that should be a pretty good idea. I'm not sure if like something like Zapier supports USPS, but we are doing a lot of other integrations, like I mentioned with Integromat. And yeah, if any of our new integrations support this kind of API, and it should, yeah, it should be supported after we support these other integration platforms. So well, after this, we'll ask our developers to look into like which integration platform supports USPS or other shipping tracking integration. Yeah, we could look into that and make sure that if one of our integration platforms support this, it would be really helpful for our users. But it would be hard for us to do integrations individually, like for USPS and do it for UPS and FedEx. So it's more likely that we're going to do integration with a whole integration platform so that, like Zapier, so we can support a lot of different application integrations at once. Yeah, and we're doing this moment. Yeah, our development team is currently working on these other integration platforms. All right. Next question. Booking report excludes specific day. Booking report. All right. Suppose I'm normally open every day of the week. Okay, you're referring to the reservation when you're reserving meeting rooms and resources. Suppose I'm normally open every day of the week, but on specific day I will be closed the whole day. In the settings on specific day, I can add hours, but I cannot indicate that specific day it is closed. If I remove the hour, it does not work. How can I do this without changing my standard schedule that will impact all days in the future? Yes. Yeah, the reservation report is kind of a new feature that we added in recent months. So, and yeah, I have heard this feature request before, and I do believe that we will be adding support for removing certain days pretty soon. Yeah. Yeah, because we do realize that this could be pretty common and really useful for the users to, add certain holidays or off days so that people cannot reserve meeting rooms and resources incorrectly. All right. Okay, next one is changing the schedule in booking report. All right, I'm not able to save schedule changes hours for the weekday in a booking report. Okay. I can change it, but when I push save button, the old hours are showing again. What am I doing wrong? I'm doing it in the custom available days and times. I logged in and logged out again, but no luck. That sounds like more of a possible bug or issue. So it would be hard for us to check right now. But for this type of question, you'll probably need to submit and need help from the top right to ask our support, maybe to look into your account and see what's wrong with the configuration. Because from what you describe, it seems like you're doing configuration correctly, but just not very sure in detail what went wrong. All right. Okay, custom buttons, update value. Is it possible to put a formula in an update value field? Formula in an update value field. For example, look up a value in another table and add 1 to it and save it to the field we would like to update. Okay, so you would like to, okay, so basically you have a field like containing the value. Oh, in another table, look at the value in another table and add 1 to it and save it to the field that we'd like to update. Okay, let's take a look at the update value. So you're saying that you would like to update one of the fields with this value. So you want to, oh, so you want to put a formula here. Hmm. I think, let me just think for a second. Yeah, right now this is not supported. And yeah, technically it's not very hard, to support formulas here. And there may be other ways to work around this so that you could achieve the same thing with the current feature, but just a sec, let me think. Maybe you could, yeah, these are like hacky workarounds. You could have like update another field and you could update field A and have field B with a formula pointing to this field to do the calculations. But yeah, that's a little bit hacky. That like a hack to do that. So yeah, I do think the better way would be for us to support formulas in these kind of um, custom buttons update value. Yeah, and since you mentioned that, yeah, this does sound like something that could be very useful for the update value update value action buttons. Okay, last question from Antonio. How to add the name of the user who is editing automatically? Let's pretend the database is a ticket submission form. I would like to show how can the name of the user who is filling the data on the database is added automatically as soon as the person saves the data. Okay, that's pretty simple with default values. So you could basically just like you could put a free text field like this, and you could just set the default value here with like the create user name or the create user email. So in this way, it's gonna populate the field with the logged in users either username or email. But if you want to record the person who last edited this record, so you would choose last modified username or last modified user email. So this way, it's gonna record the person who last modified this record. Let me just show you how this will work. Yeah, so if I edit this, it's gonna put in my name here. The person who last edited this sheet. Okay? Let me remove this field. You could do this with default value on the field. Just choose last modify user, and it will update each time the record is modified. All right. I think that's it for the questions that we have today for our office hour. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to submit your questions on our office hour page on our Ragic page. So no, on our next office hour session, we will be answering your questions there. Okay, and from Ian, thanks for the answer. Can't wait for the action button feature. Yeah, because these office hours is also a great way for us to really in real time hear your feedback on which feature would be really helpful for you guys. So yeah, we'll definitely raise the priority on the action button for the form page, and we'll see if we can get that online soon, because it's not really technically it's not really difficult, because we already have an action button there. Which we would just like to have a way for users to move the action button to a cell on their form. Yeah. So yeah, stay tuned and for all new features, when you log into the Ragic page, you're gonna see a pop up from the right. So they'll fly in and tell you about all the new features. All right. Thank you for joining us on this session of Ragic Office Hour, and we'll talk to you again in 2 weeks. All right. Thank you. Goodbye.